Now today I will tell you about the explanation of Fraunhofer diffraction. Before that I have told you so many topics about Fraunhofer diffraction. I told you that in Fraunhofer diffraction pattern the central fringe is the brightest and widest, and on the both sides of this fringe there are the dark and bright fringes. The intensity of bright fringes decreases very sharply, as I told you, with the help of a formula. Now here we will see that how this phenomena can be explained. As we know that this is related with the wave theory of Huygens, so this can be explained with the help of Huygens theory of secondary wavelets. Fraunhofer diffraction pattern can be explained by Huygens theory Huygens theory of secondary wavelets. As we know that in case of Fraunhofer diffraction, there is a plane wavefront which is incident on the slit, and according to Huygens, each and every point of the slit behaves like a light source which emits the secondary wavelets, and these wavelets interfere due to the superposition. So they show the fringes on the screen. A plane wavefront is incident on the slit AB. According to Huygens, Huygens theory, each and every point of slit behaves like light source sources which emit secondary wavelets. the secondary wavelengths interfere due to their superposition. Due to their superposition. So this is what the Huygens theory, that the secondary wavelets are emitted from each and every point of the slit, and these wavelets interfere due to their superposition. As a result, the dark and bright fringes can be seen on the screen. So now let's path difference between secondary wavelets let A equal to width of slit AB, and lambda the wavelength, wavelength. And let theta equal to angle of refraction. Theta equal to angle of diffraction. So this is like this. This is now slit AB, these are the light rays, incident light rays. As here we have a lens and this is the screen. So that this is the point, the midpoint O. So these waves goes like this, and then this gives the central point, and let these waves are diffracted at angle theta. This is now so much. This is also diffracted at angle theta. This is also diffracted at angle theta. So this is the angle of diffraction, theta. Now then these waves, and this is the point P. So this is now suppose P1. Similarly, we will have another point on this side. Suppose this is now P1 dash. So this point P1 and P1 dash. Now so much. This is the central fringe. So you can see that the angle of diffraction is theta. This is now slit AB. Slit AB. Its width is A. This so much is A. AB, that is equal to A. Now as these are diffracted at angle theta, then they will have the path difference. This angle is also theta. So now you can see that at the point O, which is the central point, at this point all the fringes interfere in the same phase. So this point is always bright. So this will be, this so much is the bright fringe. And I can show you this one here like this. This is now point O corresponding to this one. This is now point P1. This is now point P1 dash. This is the intensity I on this side. This is now your first bright fringe. Then this second and the third. Similarly here we have the fringe like this. So this is now P1, this is now your P2, this is now your P3, this is now your P4, this is P1 dash, this is now your P2 dash, this is now P3 dash. Like this we have the point. So this so much, this is the central fringe. The secondary wavelets. Interfere in same phase at center point O, center point O, which is bright. So this P1 to P1 dash, this is now bright center fringe. On both sides of point O, the dark fringes appear at points P1 and P1 dash. So this is so much is the dark, this is now central fringe. Between points P1 and P1 dash there is widest and brightest fringe. Called central maximum or principal maximum. Principal maximum. Now this will show the path difference is so much. This is now suppose B, this is now suppose point N. Here we have the N. So this Bn will give you the path difference. The path difference between diffracted wavelets equal to this is now Bn. So now we can have by lattice geometry the path difference delta is equal to Bn or this is equal to A sin because that is the right angle triangle and that from right angle triangle you will find that this Bn is equal to AB sin theta. So AB that is the width of this slit, that is AB A. So this is now A, or we can more better we can write somewhat more better way AB sin theta and this is now your A sin theta as AB this is equal to A. So this is now path difference delta. And now let's as we have so this is the path difference so much if A sin theta is equal to lambda, the point P1 because the self AB can be divided in two equal parts. In two equal parts, which will emit waves of path difference lambda by 2, and they will produce interfere destructively So point P1 will be dark. So if A sin theta equal to lambda, the slit AB can be divided into two equal parts, and each part will emit the wavelengths, the waves of path difference lambda by 2, and this will exhibit the destructive interference. So point P1 will be the dark, or at point P1 there will be the dark fringe. So this is what that I told you that this A sin theta equal to lambda, then we have this so much. And now that if A sin theta equal to 2 lambda, the fringe, the slit AB can be divided in 4 equal parts. Which will emit waves of path difference lambda by 2, and will show the dark fringe corresponding to this angle theta 1. And there will be dark fringe we are taking this A sin theta equal to 2 lambda. So this there will be dark fringe on the screen. So if it means that when this A sin theta equal to lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, 4 lambda, then for nth dark fringe, for nth dark fringe. A sin theta is equal to L lambda. So what we see that this n, where n 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So whenever we are having this path difference, then there will be the dark fringe. So this is the condition for minimum. It is the condition for minimum. Minimum dark fringe. Now if A sin theta is equal to 3 lambda by 2, the slit AB can be divided in 3 equal parts. In 3 equal parts. The 2/3 part of slit will emit base of path difference lambda by 2, and they will interfere destructively and they will interfere destructively, but one third part of slit will be active, showing bright fringe. Bright fringe. It means what? That two-third part will emit the waves of path difference lambda by 2. Then third part will emit the wave of the path difference lambda, and they will show the bright fringe. So this is why I have written here that but the one-third part of slit will be active, showing the bright fringe. It means that waves emitted by this one-third part will show the constructive interference. Thus, 1/3 part of slit thus waves emitted by one-third part of slit AB will interfere constructively So this shows, similarly if we have the path difference, suppose this is now 5 lambda by 2, 7 lambda by 2 and so on. So if suppose this is now 5 lambda by 2, then we can divide the fringe, the slit AB into 5 equal parts. Again the 4 parts, the 4 by 5 part of the slit will show the destructive interference, and remaining the 1/5 part will show the constructive interference. This means that the part which is active will decrease. Because of that, the intensity of the bright fringe decreases. So now we have the path difference for bright fringes. Path difference. Similarly, for path difference five lambda by 2, 7 lambda by 2 and so on, there will be bright fringe. Bright fringe. Bright fringe. Hence, path difference for maximum bright fringe. This A sin theta is equal to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2, where n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So you can see that the condition for maximum is 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2 and condition for minima is equal to n lambda. So the conditions for maximum and minimum in case of interference are just reversed in case of diffraction of the light. So on the basis of this one, we can explain this diffraction pattern due to the Fraunhofer class. And I have told you that this is all due to that it can be explained on the basis of the Huygens theory of secondary wavelets. So when these wavelets interfere constructively or destructively, then there is the corresponding bright fringe or the dark fringe. If they interfere constructively, then they show the bright fringe. If they interfere destructively, then they show the dark fringe. And I have told you that the principal or the central fringe is always brightest and brightest, and this is also called the principal maximum. So this is the explanation of the Fraunhofer diffraction. In the next video, I will tell you about the width of the central maximum or the principal maximum. So you all like, share and subscribe the video. Thank you very much.